Hello everyone and welcome back to Affinity for Commander. My name is Alex and today we're going to be looking at the worst commanders from each set of the Lord's Year of 2022. Now, when I say worst, I don't mean the objectively bad ones. No. I mean the ones that had such fantastic potential that I may have been personally looking forward to, that instead were just a massive, utter letdown and disappointment. Not angry. I'm just disappointed. So let's kick things off with... You know what I like? Sagas. They're good enchantments that have essential ETBs that generate different value over time. Take Elders Reborn for instance. Discard, sacrifice, and reanimation of a creature. Love it. So why, for Urz's sake, is the Saga Commander 2 colors and terrible? Satsuki the Living Law is not only terrible colour combination, but also they did her so dirty with that ability. Activate only as a sorcery? Being able to trigger off a Saga's other chapters in other players' turns would have made for such a more interactive and good commander that could have led to some explosive plays with them being able to finish a turn early, or even doing it in response to another player's attempts to disrupt your plans. That change alone could have made Satsuki infinitely better. And then they have to die for their other effect. Look, Satsuki, you're not Alendra, you're not Child of Alara, your ability is not good enough to warrant that additional 2 generic and command attacks. This is honestly very maddening, and this is only the first one, so let's keep going. Might catch some flack for this one, but Ringo's Streetwise Mentor looks good on first reading, but then just slowly goes down my estimations like a fat dog on a greased up slide. So they're wanting to be weenie tribal in band. Okay, I'm down, I like drawing cards, but it's with 1 or more, so you could attack with 10 1/1s and you'll draw 1 card. Okay. Not exactly groundbreaking, but this could just easily be fixed with saying whenever, and that way you draw loads more cards whenever your 1/1s attack. Remember, these have to be 1/1s on attack. You can't have any anthem effects or buffs before you go to attack. If you want to buff your creatures, you have to do it after they've already been declared as attackers, and Ringo's ability is already triggered. Yeah, no, just completely underwhelming and could have easily been better. Now, personally, I love the goad mechanic. I really do. Get to inflict some damage or kill a creature that's not yours by tapping someone else's creature so they don't have a blocker for your turn. Always good. And having a Jund commander for goading would be even better considering the colour identity and all good cards they bring to the table. Except for the fact that Bhaal requires you to sacrifice your creatures to do it, and then buff the creature with a counter that permanently sticks around, which makes it harder to kill, and is then easier to slap you around with later on. So not only have you angered the person whose creature you just goaded, and the person you just got that creature to slap up with a buffed up counter on it, you've now made that creature harder to kill and more powerful, so when it gets back to you and you don't have any more creatures to sacrifice, guess where all that damage is now coming? The fact that Bhaal also just straight up fails the vanilla test, has no evasion beyond the Baldur's Gate God clause, which requires you to lose 20 life to even achieve their indestructible. Like, look, Bhaal, you ain't Miracle. Miracle literally alters creature types and how we play the game and has unique strategies to him. And honey, Bhaal, you ain't no Miracle. Now, with my best Dominaria commander being a surprisingly good 2-drop, it makes sense the mirror is also a 2-drop. Except this one comes drenched in cold, foul-smelling disappointment. The Raven Man is a character in Magic lore that's been around since Liliana has been killing her family members. They've been mysterious, pulling the strings, not really known even if they're real or not. So, to make him a generic dude that fails the vanilla test, has no evasion, produces birds that can't even block, and only with a sorcery speed ability, is a bloody insult. His ability is firstly not even that great, so 4 mana and tap to have everyone discard a card isn't anything to write home about. And then you have those last 5 words that just murder any ability. Activate only as a sorcery. So no, you can't even do this in your opponent's end step, making them discard a card so you can make birds for your turn. Because remember, they can't even block, so what's the point of making them in your turn apart from waiting for the Summoning Singers to wear off? God, I hate this ability! I am super mad about this one. Let's talk about a set that I literally couldn't care less about. Yes, from my previous video, people should be well aware of my feelings of unsets and my lacking caring thereof. But my undies do get slightly more put in a twist when there is a potentially good Commander legal card from my vehicle deck, which I swear I will get onto making eventually, I swear, only to find that Commander to be impossibly trash. Captain Rex Nebula turns your non-land permanents into vehicles to attack with. So far so good. If those vehicles then deal combat damage, which is a big if considering Rex grants them no evasion, then you get to roll 6-sided dice. If that 6-sided dice's roll is equal to that card's mana value, you get to fling it. This is terrible on a number of levels, because quite frankly, Rex, I can fling my own creatures, I don't need your help for that. And secondly, the fact that he doesn't even give the vehicle any amount of evasion, I'm not asking for an unblockable, but maybe just, a menace, a flying, something. And then the fact that he have to roll a 6-sided dice to even get the ability off. Yeah, no, this is a lot of hoops to jump through for absolutely minimal benefit. Overall, a terrible Zap Brannigan impersonator who doesn't even have the charm of being a dim-witted space captain to smooth over some of the more unpleasantries of their personality. And the worst commander from the 40k decks is a far cry from the awesomeness that is Marneus Calgar. But her crimes don't just include a failing of the vanilla test, a clunky ability, and a lack of keywords. Oh no. All of this compounds with a personal pet hatred of mine, giving my opponents any sort of value. Neyam, Shai, and Murad's ability lets, upon dealing combat damage, you and your opponent pick permanents from your respective graveyards. You put that permanent into play, and your opponent puts their permanent into their hand. Now, yes, you definitely get the better end of the deal and could even cultivate your graveyard with cards like Buried Alive or Entomb to make sure you get exactly what you want. And yes, you could even make some manner of political plays by allowing someone to get back something that is incredibly needed for their strategy or to help get rid of a problematic permanent or player. But at the same time, just no, I just can't get over that ability to give my opponents back something that had to be destroyed already. Just, no. It makes me uncomfortable. And from the cheating out of Blightsteel Colossus with Ultra Magnus, we get the Theon Greyjoy of the Transformers universe, minus the slight character redemption arc in Starscream. Specifically Starscream, power hungry, a mono black commander that is just confusing as all hell. So you have to cast him, wait to be dealt damage, so he then converts, deals someone else damage to make them the monarch, then get the monarchy back to then trigger their actual front facing ability for people to lose life when you draw cards. What? Like, okay, I get it, black has a lot of draw potential, so just having his front face up and drawing through your library and makes people lose a ton of damage. I get that bit. And also the flavour around him making someone else the monarch is truly on point, it really is. But giving your opponents extra card draw, probably for at least 1 or 2 turns, and if they then have double flyers to block or even just kill Starscream, all you've done is just made your opponents draw more cards. And yeah, that's not good. And heck yeah, probably is very flavorful for Starscream to make someone else win the game, but that still makes them a terrible commander. Now on to our penultimate set for the year, and oh boy was there some ripe disappointment to pick from here. From the teeny tiny powered dragon engine, all the way up to a Felden that doesn't even resurrect Eldrazi from the graveyard. But no, the one that takes the cake for me is the one I was most looking forward to. The one where I was hoping for a sweet embrace of a mother's love, but instead was handed a copy of my own adoption papers. Yes, Tocasia, the woman who single-handedly raised both Urza and Mishra, getting a weird half-anthem effect, a weird ultimatum strapped to her that causes her to exile. It just... why? Yes, I get the fact that her first ability is her teaching the boys how to surveil dig sites, and her last ability is her properly helping excavate Thran artifacts at the cost of her own life when Urza and Mishra come to blows. I get that. But it is also 8 mana in band for 10 mana value of artifacts. What? I wanted to like this card, I really did, but just like a dolphin on strike, it just wasn't clicking for me. Maybe reducing the cost of her last ability and getting a few back that were just targets, or maybe making my commander not exile themselves upon activation. Just little things, but this is all a lot of ifs, ands, or buts. The fact of the matter is, Tocasia is not the group hug commander that I was hoping for, and she never will be. And the final commander of the year in 2022 in Jumpstart is a legendary creature that looks to Goblin Tribal and says, hey, I can help out with this by adding absolutely nothing. Ardoz, Cobbler of War seems okay on first reading. It's a creature that enters as a 3/1 with haste in Goblin Tribal, which is okay, and has a double half anthem effect for other goblins entering as well, which is pretty alright. I mean, apart from the fact there are lords that literally do +1/+1 that sticks around forever, which is arguably better. But no, the thing that really ticks me off, curls my foils, and riffle shuffles my deck is her last ability, specifically the last few words in it. 4 mana in red to make a 1/1? Sure, why not? It'll enter as a 3/1 with haste. Go for it. Urza forbid we have some interaction. Lord above, no, we can't have any amount of being able to make 1/1 tokens in mono red during our opponent's end step. Oh boy, no, that would break the format. I hate it. I hate the artificial nerfing of abilities by just restricting their timings. Preston doesn't do this, and Preston's great, and I love Preston. Ardoz, meanwhile, does have that restriction. Hence why Preston is a fly bunny rabbit, and Ardoz is not even fit to go fetch Krenko's fluffy slippers. And that'll be it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. What were your biggest disappointments in the year of 2022 when it came to legendary creatures? Let us know in the comments below. We read every single one of them. Just before you go, guys, and to let you know, we recently had our alliance with Enhanced Gaming, a fantastic company that makes all manner of lovely card-carrying apparel and other geek-related products. And for our lovely, lovely listeners, you can now head to the description box and use our link in it to get yourself a fantastic discount on all their fantastic apparel. As always though, guys, all the Affinity for Commander content is made possible thanks to the support of our amazing patrons. You guys are truly awesome. If you too would like to support the channel, then be sure to do so through liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and clicking the bell icon so you never miss a video. But that'll be it from me for today, guys. I've been Alex, and I will see you next time.